Be going over my greatest geoguessr game of all time. This is the greatest game I've ever played of all time. It has crazy rounds with crazy guesses and most importantly a crazy ending. Let's just get into it. Round one. It's a Ghana round. We see through this Ghana card. I'm gonna try to go over some tips too. And yeah, just go over my guesses. But I only know like two region guessing Ghana metas. One is this clean tape. Clean slash neater is more south and dirtier is more up north. And also one good tip is palm trees. We can see there's palm trees everywhere, plantations maybe even. The palm trees you can see. The more south you are in Ghana, the more you are towards the coast. But also the more towards you are, the more towards you are towards the equator. So basically, you're closer to the equator and you're closer to the coast. So palm trees are a big factor in guessing. We can see this in other countries like Thailand, where we see more palm trees in coastal, like the coastal peninsula, and also palm trees work for region guessing in India too, and even in places like Uruguay, Brazil, palm trees are a big factor. So yeah, here I hedge south mainly just because of the palm trees and also because of the tape. It was pretty clean, and I picked up 100 points, pretty minimal. Second round was a Bhutan round. Really nothing. Like there's no point in going over this round. It's just silver card with big mountains. And then round three, we get into some crazy stuff. We get a Brazil round. Let's just watch the replay. Oh my goodness. So here we're dropping to urban Brazil. We immediately see a poll, and I spent 3 days learning all the phone codes, the area codes from Brazil. Oh my god. So here I am just moving around. I just want to try to find a phone code. I'm just moving around frantically because I know if I find a phone code, it's like game over. Here I see a phone code. I see it's 8-1, but I can't tell if it's 8-1 or 6-1. So I'm moving from a different angle. It's pretty blurry. So I'm getting kind of panicked. I need to secure this because 8-1 is in Recife while 6-1 is Brasilia. It's a pretty far margin there. So, but then I see it's taxing and I confirm that it is 8-1. And I was just stressed. You could probably, I was leaning more towards 8-1. And here, I guess near Recife, and it is a good guess. But in hindsight, this is actually a bad guess, and I'm going to show you why. We can see through this chart here, these are all the Brazilian phone codes, but all the area codes that end with 1 are a major city. So we can see here, Brasilia is 6-1, Porto Alegre is 5-1, Curitiba is 4-1, Sao Paulo is 1-1. Rio de Janeiro is 2-1. Belo Horizonte is 3-1. This is 7-1. And Recife is 8-1. So all the big cities, they source off of the 1. And all the 1s source off the big city. And with especially how urban and developed and just high density and also the buildings were very like high built. It was just very developed, well built, well established. And also give a coastal vibe too. That is easy to guess Recife, but I'm still fresh off of the area code, so I just hedged towards the 8-1, and it was a good guess nonetheless, especially since the coastal round. Since my opponent, you can see here, he hedged in the middle. That's big damage, 2,800 points without any multipliers. And then we head into the next round. It's another Brazil round. Oh my god, so then I see the Brazilian poll here, and I think I need to secure this. I need to get the second. I need to find an area code. But this round is a little bit more rural, so I'm not sure if I can find it. So here I'm just moving. I'm trying to go towards the direction towards like a downtown or like housing, any type of posters. I don't see anything. I need to because I literally don't know any region guessing besides phone codes. I see a poster here. Will it give me the area code? No, it will not. It just gives me a phone code. So, like, especially in rural places, they don't feel the need to put area codes because of how small the civilization is. And in urban places too. I see this poster has a phone number but no area code. Area codes are in the parentheses and they're 2 digits long. And here I find the 6-7, and just as I see it, my opponent guesses, and I definitely know where the 6-7 is. It's Mato Grosso do Sul. So I plonk it in the region guess. Hedge in the center. Oh my god, look how close I am. Look how close my opponent. Look how far away my opponent is. Big damage. He's surviving on 300 HP. And the torment from the Brazilian phone codes is real. This felt so hype getting the back-to-back crazy guesses. And that's just what Brazil is about. Moving Brazil, if you can find a phone code, that's a huge advantage. That's a huge leg up. Next round was Senegal. Not much to go over here. Very run down, very sparse, very desolate, very rural, very, you know, very sandy, very lots of dirt everywhere, red soil. You could probably region guess off this, but I haven't studied enough for Senegal. And next up is Italy, and I actually did study a bit of Italy. I would consider Italy to be one of my stronger countries. And we can open up this location and see that, like, I thought this was Po Valley. And Po Valley is a tri-point between Milan, Venice, and Bologna. I thought it was Po Valley because of how flat it is, and also just because of, like, how developed it was. Like, this is just your typical, like, Po Valley round. You get a ton of them in, like, a balanced Italy and, like, in any Italy map. In any Italy selection. But in this case, maybe it's a hedgerow, but I missed the vibe entirely, and it was over here in this boot. And my opponent hedged center, so he picked up 1,600 points there, 1,600 damage. But usually the cities here are very ancient, lots of concrete, the roads aren't paved. So yeah, very interesting there. And then before I head into the last round, the round 7, you may have already seen it, but let's just get into it. I'm going to go through my opponent's replay here. I did not screen record, as you see, so I'm just going through the replays. My opponent, first of all, a fatal error on his part. You can see he pans around. He sees a big intersection here on a highway that, the autumn foliage definitely feels like Canada here. But then he turns around and goes the other way. I think it's because he sees a sign, but that is a huge error. You want to go towards intersections. They usually have very essential information. Most of the time they have, the information that would be seen on this sign. Because this sign is usually pointing out what's happening at the intersection. And you can see here, yeah, this is literally what's pointing out. Except for the intersection has more information. It has the highway numbers. So my opponent, man, like, it's just a typical birch tree forest. This is some easy Canada, but you can see here, he sends it in the USA. He sees Grand Rapids. He can't find the city. What a storyline here. He's trying to scan for the city. He's trying to scan for Grand Rapids. He can't find it. So then he just goes for Rapid City. You'll see at the end here. He goes in South Dakota. He goes in Rapid City. That's actually crazy. I don't want to dox myself. This is my 4th time recording because every time I've doxed myself. But we can see here, Grand Rapids is a big city in Michigan. So he saw it. He's like, oh, it's an American city. I'm trying to scan for it. And then he just goes and... This does not look like the plains at all. And this actually doesn't look like the Great Lakes region in America either, with this type of forest and the type of road. Everything is screaming out Canada here. So let's see what I discover. I make the right play here. Look at the sun first. First of all, we see a single yellow line, or maybe you can call it a double yellow line, but either way, that indicates Canada. I'm okay. If you guys don't know, Canada is one of my strongest countries. So when I saw this one, I'm like, okay, this is light work. So then I'm moving towards the intersection. You can see I do something very good here. I pan around and press the S key to move back. So I task overlap here. I pan the other way and I move away from the direction that I'm looking at. So the direction I'm moving towards, I'm looking away from it. And that allows me to see behind me while pressing the S key. And because of that, I saw this Manitoba sign. And if my opponent moved here, you can see this is a Gen 2 camera here. If my opponent moved towards the intersection, he probably would have seen the Gen 2 and probably would have got that it was Canada. But we see the Manitoba 60 highway sign. And I'm just going towards this intersection for more information. And here, this is big information. I see that the 327 ends here. It's a smaller highway, more digits too. And I also see that we're on the 60. So we're just trying to find the 60 and 327. So here I am zooming into Manitoba here. And I definitely know that this is northern Manitoba, not southern Manitoba. Because southern Manitoba, it's more like Saskatchewan. It's more like the plains. It's more flat. And this kind of thing, this kind of round looks like Ontario. So this is north. And here, I do find the 6 here. I know that the 60 branches off from the 6. And here, I found the 60. So now, I'm just trying to backtrack. I'm trying to find when the 60 branches off from the 327. I don't know how far I have to zoom in to find the 327 appearing on the map. But here I see it. I see the 327 instantly plonked there to secure it. And now I'm just trying to pinpoint this. I return to my start point. I see that I'm looking northwest towards the intersection, which means that I'm southwest of it, since I'm looking this way, northwest towards it. And another good way to pinpoint this is I see this off-road to my west. So I just need to find this off-road on the map if it appears. And here I am confirming the road angle through the compass. Definitely the angle lines up. And here I'm just trying to find the off-road. You'll see it. And bang, I zoom in. This is the off-road. It's so close to the intersection. Everything's lining up. And I get the 5K to win it. Oh my god, let's reveal it. A 5K 1 meter away to win the game. 5,000 damage on my opponent's end. What a crazy guess. My opponent went South Dakota on this. You can see here. Grand Rapids is right here. He saw Grand Rapids and instantly sent America. To be fair, I've been there before where I see a sign and I get blindsided by the sign and forget all the landscapes around me and how big of a red herring and how big of a bait it is. But I gotta admit, that's my opponent's fault there. That's my opponent's fault for not moving in the direction of the intersection, for not getting the Canadian vibe. That round is not America. With all due respect, that round is not America. Firmly. There weren't any speed limit signs, but it was very, to any trained eye, that is Canada. And so that's how my greatest geoguessr duel of all time ended. It ended off with a 5K bang. I missed I went Po Valley on the boot, but that was a blessing in disguise because without that we wouldn't have segued into the amazing 5K in Canada, Manitoba. My greatest geoguessr game of all time. This was so satisfying to see this Brazil, bro. Oh my god. The area codes are so useful if you're a moving player. It's just incredible. I spent around 3 or 4 hours learning this throughout 3 days. It was so worth it. Every Brazil round, it's just so hyped now. The north-south, the shape of Ghana is very it's very lenient. It's just a north-south rectangular country. There's no pockets, there's no panhandles. There's one lake, I guess, but just a crazy geoguessr duel. I will remember this one because of what this means to me in terms of Brazil. And I'm not done. I might start memorizing some other random details, some other random phone numbers, maybe the kabupatans in Indonesia. I don't know, but geoguessr is so fun. I'm pushing for championship division. That's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.